Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Soapbox Slam, where I get on my soapbox and I talk about the things that I see going on. So, I make no secrets or hide my politics. Number one, I don't support any political party. And then number two, I am not in support of the current administration and the current state of economics in the United States of America today. Now, I want to be clear about a lot of things and why I don't support any particular party, but currently the party that's in power, I do not support because of the agendas that are transpiring with that party. Now, I have stated before that perhaps there'll be a third party that comes in. Perhaps Donald Trump will win the nomination and something will happen to Donald Trump and his vice president will become president. It looks like Tom Cotton is going to be his vice president. The issue that I have with all politicians across the board is a lot of people want to give a lot of credit to the state of the economy to the presidents. And while the presidents do sign off on bills and sign off on things, it's our legislative body that creates the bills. Okay? The president enforces the bills, the legislator creates the bills, and the judicial interprets the law. So let me state that again. The president enforces the law, the legislative body makes the law, and the judicial body interprets the law. And the biggest thing I want to get on my soapbox about, and something that I think the NAACP and the African American Caucus fails miserably on is, and I've said this time and time again, the failure in the African American community with our Black Caucus and with our NAACP is the failure to reach out to all African Americans across the country, unify the vote, and what I think is the most important thing that the African American community ought to do is not side with any party ever. Hold the vote. Hold it to the very last minute before we throw our endorsement behind anyone. And what that does by holding out is it brings all of those elected officials, it brings them all to their knees to negotiate with us for our votes for what we want. Now, in order to also facilitate this, in doing so, the NAACP and the Black Caucus ought to not only unify in its mission, but raise a significant amount of money to hold it as a block, to wait until the last minute. When I say the last minute, I mean the last push being the September-October push to get our vote out and make our demands and negotiate our demands for what we want. The African American community cannot and should not be loyal to one party or another at all, ever. We are too small of a population, especially with the influx of immigrant populations. We are way too small of a population to A, have a divided vote, and B, side with one particular party. Now, the only way that we as African Americans will come out of the darkness, and I say the darkness that occurs in this society, in American society, and our plight and everything else that we want to pile on as to our conditions, as to why we are the way we are, the only way is to withdraw from every party, unify our vote, which requires the biggest organizations, the Black Caucus, the NAACP, Black Lives Matter, it requires them to come together and find common ground on what our demands are. Fuck, and I mean this, fuck the whole I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican, I hate you, you hate me. Stop with that. I mean, Jasmine Crockett is a phenomenal woman. Phenomenal, gorgeous, great comebacks. We've seen her stars start to rise. She's on the political stage now. She is somebody, a contender, a force to be reckoned with. The unfortunate thing about her is she very well and effectively talks the Democratic talking points, which when I listen to her talk these Democratic talking points, I am disenchanted. Probably biased because of my own biases against both parties. And so therefore, don't enjoy her champion one party's cause. We have been loyal as a voting bloc. We have been loyal to Democrats, and Democrats have done nothing but bury us. From the old Dixiecrats to the current status of things. That does not mean that the Republicans are any better. And let's not be delusional about all this. Anytime Democrats have been in power as a president, Republicans have been the ones controlling the legislative body that makes the laws. So the Republicans are not the answer. They're not the answer. They're not the answer for the African American community to leave one party and go to the other. They're not the answer to rely on them to be our saviors. We need to learn how to negotiate for what we need and want. We need to learn that shit. We need to stop supporting all of the Democratic causes and immigration and everything else. They want us to support immigration. They need to start making sure that for every Latino community that exists and job that exists, that those communities are not practicing the discrimination that those communities practice. They come from a very racist country in themselves. Now, you guys can hogwash all of that all you want, but that is the facts. That is the underlying facts, okay? You cannot give one party blanket immunity or eminent domain to make all the decisions for our benefit without something in return. It's called consideration, okay? In the legal standpoint, and we're talking about bills and laws and all this legalities, it is called consideration. And the African American community has not gotten any consideration. And the only consideration that Democrats and the Black Caucus have gotten is their own personal upward mobility, i.e. the lobbyists that have paid them off to support the votes that they want, corporations want. And thus, those Black Caucus representatives have begun to become very rich people. Following suit. It's a whole new game. It's a whole new dynamic. And the African American community needs to hold out with Donald Trump and with Joe Biden. Hold out. Organize this. If I had the support, I'd organize it myself. If these leaders would sit down and talk to me about my concerns, I would help to try and organize this in my own right. Lord knows I need more help in my life. The point I'm making here is, if we want, as a community, to start earning our respect, then we need to stop slutting around and start acting like hoes. Because hoes get paid. Sluts give it away for free. And right now, the African American voters and the African American community has been a slut to the Democrats and now becoming a slut to Republicans. Just giving your shit away for nothing. For nothing. And that makes you a dirty slut. And all you representatives are dirty sluts.